Welcome to Cooking My Way. In this episode, I'm going to be showing you how to make apple maple roasted pork tenderloin my way. And all the ingredients are going to be in the description below. So let's get started. First, you're going to take your garlic cloves for just your marinade, and you're going to cut the end off and just give them a good peel, or try to peel them. And the best way I always find to peel them is give them a good smack. And just get the skins off, throw them in your trash, your compost bin or a bowl to throw them in later. And again, if that all goes wrong with one clove not getting there, just give it another smack. And then just give it a peel. And then just clean off your cutting board. And then just line them up and just get them ready to cut off those brown pieces. You don't have to do it like that if you don't like it. You can do it one at a time, but get those ends pieces off and give those to the compost or the trash, whichever you feel. And then just cut those cloves in half. Now all you're going to do with these cloves is you're just going to give them a rough chop, not a mince or anything. So don't worry about getting all fancy with it or making sure it's all completely even. You can take shortcuts with this one if you like. As you can see, I unfortunately didn't. I made my life more difficult with the garlic, as I love, because garlic is just a pleasure to work with. It's good to taste. It's good to eat, at least with whatever you're actually cooking it with, but my lord, as soon as you start peeling that garlic, well, that's a whole nother thing. But anyways, enough about me and the garlic. This episode won't be fully about garlic, just a little bit. But anyways, just get that garlic nice and chopped up. And again, take your time. You don't want to lose any fingers in that. It would be quite an awkward dish to have with a little finger that looks like a corn dog or something in there. Wouldn't be too great. But just get that finished up there. You've probably done it by now. I like to take my time, as you can see, even though I'm in a rush. But there you go, get your garlic, get yourself your marinade bag, and put all that lovely garlic into the marinade bag, and you've done all your hard work for your marinade. Again, that's just for your marinade. You still got quite a bit of work to go for the rest of your meal. But for the marinade, we're just going to go on to the spices and whatnot. So add a cup of maple syrup to your marinade bag. Okay. And yes, I feel like watching South Park now, saying okay. But after you've done that, you're going to get your seasonings. I've got here a teaspoon of dry ground mustard. And here I'm using a tablespoon and a half of smoked paprika. Again, all the ingredients are in the description below. And then I'm going to be using a teaspoon and a half of ground sage. And then just a teaspoon of ground roasted coriander. You can use ground coriander, just regular ground coriander if you like. I just like the roasted taste. And there's the coriander. Cool. After you've done that, you're going to add your soy sauce. Add about 3 tablespoons worth. The soy sauce is the only thing you're going to keep out for taste. That's the only thing you're going to use for your taste. But after that, you're going to add a few squirts of Worcestershire sauce, or Worcestershire, however you say it, and that's going to be about a teaspoon. After that, you're going to do about a tablespoon of ketchup, and of course the apple cider vinegar. If you want, you can use apple juice or apple cider mix with a couple tablespoons of white wine vinegar, or just white vinegar, sorry, and just do the 2 tablespoons of vinegar and about a quarter cup of the apple. But if you have the apple cider vinegar like I do here, you're just going to use about 4 tablespoons. But anyways, after you do that, as you can see, just mix your bag, mix everything up in your bag, give it a good mix. Set it down, open it up, and grab yourself a little spoon. And have yourself a taste. See how it is. If you need any soy sauce or anything, that's how you find out. Better try it now than after you get the pork in, right? And that's a joke. Don't try the pork or any type of meat after the marinade. I'm sure a lot of you wouldn't do it, but for everyone that thinks maybe try it, don't. Or at least you didn't hear it from me. But anyways, after you do that, if you want, you can take all the fat off your pork tenderloin. I like to get a little bit off, but the most important thing is you gotta make sure you get that silver skin off. And you see, I'm just gonna show you just me getting the fat off, just because, well, who doesn't like seeing a pig getting skinned, right? Yes, maybe I'm a little barbaric. I apologize. But come on, it's taking the skin off a good old pork tenderloin. So there you can see a little bit more of the silver skin. Well, maybe not from this angle. I'm going to show you from the side angle very shortly. But just get that, and then again, if you want the fat off, take the fat off. It's a tenderloin, so it's already very low in any fat. Hence the name tenderloin. But after you're through skinning that, which will take quite a while, you can throw it in your marinade bag. Again, I don't like the silver skin because that's not digestible. It's going to just stick in your intestine. And if you like that, that's again up to you. If you're a nutritionalist, obviously not going to like it. I'm not a nutritionalist, but I just don't want anything sitting in my stomach that long. I know it doesn't have to be this much of a pain. You can even have your butcher do it if you like. And usually the butcher actually already has it pre-skinned, so. And turn it around, just make sure you got everything, and it looks like I didn't. So, let's give it a good cut. And here it is from the other side. And you can see there's the fat there, but you can also see at the very end of my left hand, the very back where my pinky is, you can start seeing the skin a little bit more, and you actually can see in between there a little bit of the skin. Yes, that's fat too, but there's also quite a bit of skin there. And of course, try to keep from tearing as much flesh or cutting as much flesh as possible. And there you can see another nice big piece of silver skin. Except for my hand being in the way. But there you go. And again, if you want, you can try ripping it off, try cutting it off, whichever you feel most comfortable with. Just know ripping it, of course, like you see here, is you're going to end up, well, not getting the whole piece. You have to keep tearing at it. And yes, as you can see, it's a lot of fun tearing up that skin. If you're bored or you got a lot of anger, just get at that skin. Believe me, it's great if you want to just very quick little knife skills with being very technical. By that I mean you don't want, by not slicing the flesh, it actually is quite good for learning how to properly control your knife, because the tenderloin is so easy to cut through with the silver skin. So, and same thing goes with ribs got silver skin on them too. So same thing, if you want, get your knife out and practice that. It's actually great, again, like I said, knife skill practice, because you do not want to touch the flesh at all, and so it's a nice little practice. Anyways, keep getting at that skin there. Again, all you're looking for is literally something that looks like skin. When you're on the pork, you won't see it from the front, but when you start grabbing at the pork, you'll start noticing it crumple up a bit, and that'll be the skin, as you can see there. And just like everything else, take your time. You don't want to ruin your flesh, like I was saying earlier. Get that fat off. And that looks pretty good. Yeah, what do you think? Yeah. Alright, so it's in the bag. You want to see the other one? I think you guys do. Yeah, you guys like that so much, you want another one. But, I'm just going to go on to something else. So, here, all we're going to do now is just start cutting up the celery. But make sure, of course, you get a clean knife, clean cutting board and everything. And make sure you wash your celery. And as you can see, I just have my celery at an angle. And I'm actually cutting with my knife at a bit of a angle too, about a 35-degree angle, just so it gets a nice little look to the celery. I'm gonna do this with the carrot too. If you want, you can do a straight cut or fiddle around with it, have some fun, because a straight cut's a straight cut. It's boring. Have some fun with it. Be inventive. If you want, julienne it. I wouldn't say mince it, but whatever you want. If you want to grate that all together and make some sort of carrot, celery, onion cake and put an egg in there with some salt and fry that up, go for it. Nice little vegetable cake. But take your time and just get your celery cut, and you'll see, as you can see, my knife's at an angle. And just make sure, if you are cutting your celery at an angle, not your knife, but your celery at an angle, make sure you keep that angle and just work down with the celery. And then after you get down lower, just push the celery up. Don't work around the celery, alright? And then grab your carrots and start peeling those off. Unless you want to pull a Bugs Bunny and eat it just like that, that's up to you. And of course, after you skin your carrots, give them a wash too, just to get every little piece of garbage off, just to be safe. And then, like I said, I'm doing it the same way with the cutting. Just my knife at about a 35-degree angle or so, and my carrots are at an angle. And yes, you're probably saying, oh, why didn't you do a different cut? Be a little eventful, like you're just saying before. But I don't want my food to cook at different speeds. And yes, that's a terrible excuse, but it's the one I'm going to be staying with, alright? Or at least for this episode. But get all your carrots, throw that in your roasting pan, throw any scraps away or in a compost. Clean down your section and get ready for the next step, the garlic. That's right, the garlic's back. And after you've peeled your garlic, and yes, I've already pre-smashed these, get those ready. And this time you are going to mince it, because since it's going to the roast, I know it sounds weird because it's going into the roast, you're going to be mincing it, but because it's not going to be flavoring the sauce or the marinade, as you saw we did earlier, the garlic's already in the marinade, this garlic is going to be coating and covering the vegetables, the carrots, the celery, and the onions. So make sure you give those a nice mince. So here you go, just go over them from an angle, and then just give them a flip. Eventually, there you go, give them a flip, and then just give them another chop. Just run your knife right through there. Show that garlic's who's boss. Show how much you enjoy taking off its skin. But after you're done with all your anger with the garlic, just throw it in there, clean off your station. After you get out of it in the tray. And say goodbye to your feud with the garlic for now and go straight to the onion. Now the onion, just like cutting the garlic, has a little bit of a fun time with it. But before I get to that, of course, peeling the onion, sorry, I find the easiest way is just to run your knife along the side, peeling it off, pushing your edge. You can use sharp end or the dull side of your knife, and again, like I said, just push it against the onion skin, and it'll pretty much just come off. But like I was saying with the garlic, it has its fun feature where after you cut it, you are gonna cry. There's no way of stopping it. If you want, wear goggles. That's the only thing I can think of. But skin your onion, cut it in half, and eventually I will cut it in half and skin it. But first, you can see I'm just admiring the onion before I start crying. So after a few tears, you cut it in half, and like I said, give it a rough chop. And the reason I don't cut the root ever when I'm chopping onions is because the root is what holds the whole thing together, alright guys? And then after that, you're just going to throw your baby mini mixed potatoes in, or whatever potato you're using. If you want to cut up some russet potatoes or yellow potatoes and throw those in. But I'm using pre-washed baby potatoes because I'm in a very lazy mood right now trying to get this done quick. I didn't even put this in a bowl, which I should have. I put it in a roasting pan to mix. Unbelievable, right? But if you're like me, you're using a roasting pan because you don't want to do many dishes after, and you just want to do this and relax. So if you have a bowl, use a bowl. I have a bowl, but I'm just not using it. But after you've got everything in that pan or the bowl, give it a season. Salt, pepper, of course. And then, of course, drizzle on your fat all over it. In this case, I'm using olive oil. I don't use extra virgin olive oil as it burns way too quick. So if you want a little bit of a toasty meal, go for it. But I just don't like the taste of it personally. If you want, go for it. But I like olive oil, vegetable oil, peanut oil, those ones. I don't like the extra virgin stuff. It has I find it doesn't have a great taste. But anyways, get your onions out. I tried getting as many out, layered as possible, but it's a pain in the butt. But you want it as evenly laid out as possible for your meal, because you want everything to have a great flavor and you want it all to be a great mix, right? Keep your onions in one place, it's gonna cook only in one place and your onions won't cook through. And same thing with your garlic. You don't want your garlic in one place either. That would be quite an interesting taste. And good luck kissing your partner after with a mouth of garlic or onion or a mix. And if your partner likes that, then you've hit the jackpot, or, well, you're gotta see probably a psychiatrist. But best to you guys. But anyways, back to this. Mix it all up. If you're at the bowl, mix it with the bowl. Make sure you get everything spread out. You want everything to get a nice coating of the seasoning, right? And make sure everything gets a nice coat of that oil, because you don't want it to burn in the oven. You just want it to get a nice roast. So after that, you take your roast vegetables, throw them in the oven at 420 for about half an hour. Take them on out. Now they should have a nice color on them now. The potatoes will be looser in the skin. The carrots and celery will be lighter in skin. The onions will now be golden brown and translucent. And so after you get that done, you're going to give that a nice mix with a spoon, tongs. Well, I prefer a spoon personally because you get a lot more mix with the tongs. You're going to start cutting into the vegetables and the potatoes. But just give that a nice mix. Make sure you get the whole thing too, because you don't want just the bit of one half layer with a nice roasted crunch to it, and the other half all soggy, because it wasn't mixed evenly. After that, you're going to take your pork, yes, raw pork, and you're going to put on your half-cooked vegetables, because they're half-cooked. They're not fully cooked, they're half-cooked. So this will not be a problem, because everything will be cooking together. There is no food contamination from raw pork touching the potatoes. Now, if these were cooked potatoes and they were going in for maybe, let's say, 5 minutes, then we'd have a problem. But since they're going to be cooking through with the pork, this will not be a problem. Alright, so I'm pouring my marinade all over the pork, and that's also going to be flavoring my vegetables. I know, delicious, right? Maple apple pork vegetables. Oh, I can't wait. So throw that back in your oven, and you're going to wait at that for, again, 420 for about 15-20 minutes until your pork gets up to about 165, 160. If you want, you can take it out at 160 there, because it will go up 5 degrees when you take it out, just like all meat. Anyways, after done that, take that beautiful roast, look at it, admire it, just only for so long though, because the foil must go on, because you gotta keep that nice and warm, right? Because I must stress this, because I never stress this enough, you always must let your meat rest. You don't let your meat rest, it's going to get all tensed up. It's going to, well, that's pretty much all it is. It's going to tense up, and you're going to lose all your juices. It's going to be all your hard work and all that flavor. It's just going to be ruined. But if you don't want that, use the beautiful tin foil. As you can see, me and the tin foil became good friends, better friends than me and the garlic became. And then I just admire that beautiful shiny foil. Look at how shiny it is. It's just beautiful, isn't it? But again, I had enough of me and the foil. So, after you're done, about 10 minutes or so with it cooling, grab your carving knife, get your pork tenderloin, get on your carving board, and on an angle, just like you did with the carrots and the celery, you're going to give it a cut. And take that end piece, give it to someone you don't like, your dog, or someone you just don't enjoy their company. And there you go. Well, with your burnt end, if you want, you can actually save it and make a sandwich with it the next day, or put it in a wonton wrapper and have it as a ravioli. All up to you. So, if you don't want anything going to waste. And these pieces I'm cutting are a 1/2 inch to 1 inch thick. I'm cutting them a little thicker just because I don't want them to cool down too fast. Even though you see I'm taking my time, they're not going to get cold, thank goodness. And look at that, I even have that beautiful foil behind to keep it warm after. Now you can see the little bit of juice in there. It's hard to see because I moved it so fast. Yes. Excuse me. It is juicy, just I didn't squeeze it, or I would have left the juice, squeezed all the juices out, and that would have been quite silly. But you can see at the bottom there, that's juice, no blood. It's all delicious, all flavor, and all that's going to be in my mouth quite shortly. But you're going to take your other tenderloin out, same thing, give it a cut. Same thing with the end piece. If you have an uncle you don't like, an aunt or a cousin or brother, sister, friend, or whatever you don't like, there you go. You gotta burn end piece and give everyone else the good pieces. Since you're the cook, you get to decide which piece goes where. Right? Not if you have a partner. She or he will always decide, usually, over the cook. That's just how it works. But anyways, take that delicious pork tenderloin, get that foil on top of it, because you don't want it to get cold, right? And just put that to the side there, because now it's fun time, plating time, right? Alrighty. So get yourself, well, you can plate it any way you like, of course, but the way I'm doing it, I'm doing 2 piles of vegetables, 5 potatoes each pile, at least. And of course, just gonna be covering all with celery, carrots, and onions. Now I'm gonna be putting the carrots around the top a bit more than the celery, just because I want that orange, beside the green look, but more of that orange look. Because every plate's got a bit of green on it, gotta have a little bit of orange. But so you get that in there. And now time for the best part. That's right, the meat. Oh, the meat. So you take 2 pieces, put them on each side of vegetables, or however you like, and just admire it some more. And just clean up your plate while admiring it. And make sure your vegetables are all nice and stacked, your meat's nice and put together where it's not going to be falling around. Clean your plate, get your sauce. Now I didn't cook my sauce like I usually do to thicken it because, well, again, I was getting this done fast, and you don't really need to in this case because the vegetables and the pork's just going to be sucking it up, where regular gravy you want to stick to it, right, to your food. But again, in this case you don't need that. So I'm just going to be taking that out and just pouring it on top. And it's just going to have pretty much on both sides, going halfway across the plate. Just, again, just for a little bit of a look. Nice little look to it. Okay. And then, of course, after you've done that, you're going to once again make sure everything is set up on your plate the way you like it. And get yourself a cloth if you need to clean the plate and get it nice and clean. And there you have it. Got yourself a nice meal for you and your family. And a clean plate, of course. And there it is. Apple maple roasted pork tenderloin, cooked my way. So I hope you guys enjoyed this meal, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe to How to Cook My Way. Again, if you liked this meal, please give it a thumbs up. And until I'm hungry again, take care, guys.